Hey there, everybody. So in this video, I want to talk primarily about the references, how to get them in order, and how to have stellar references to absolutely blow away anybody during a job hunt process. All right, so let's get started. Wrote a book a couple years ago. I've said this in a lot of other videos, but I'll give you an update if this is the first time you've seen it. I wrote a book called Your Job Search is Over, Resume Building, and Interview Prep in the Healthcare World about like 8 years ago. I was showing some people at my work, and they all said, "Wow, this is pretty good stuff. This is useful." And I said, "Well, you know what? I got a YouTube channel. Originally, that was what this is for. Anyway, when I first made this channel way back in like 2013, I figured, what the heck? Let's get it out there so you guys can enjoy it, so that you guys can hopefully get some value and increase your chances for getting some great jobs out there." So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to want to get your references in order. So what is a reference? Most applications will ask for at least 1, 2, or maybe even 3 people that a possible employer could call and interact with and kind of ask a little bit about you. Now, well, this is kind of silly because you're telling them people for them to call that are going to say good stuff about you. It's nice to at least have a couple like in your pocket ready to go. So when it's time to apply for a job, time to look for something, you kind of have a nice little array of people to ask. So let's get to it. So who are you going to want to ask? So a potential employer is going to be looking and saying, okay, of all these people on your list, who should I call? Who is going to give me the best information about this person? So what would be cool to have, like, I don't know, say you're at a hospital, to have the president of the hospital as your reference. They really haven't like worked with you that much. They don't know. They can't give you in-depth stuff. So what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick up any former supervisors that you have a good relationship with. And you're going to want to ask them, because these are the kind of people that can talk very specifically about your work habits and how you're viewed from a manager. So when one new manager at the place that you're going to go work at can look and say, all right, who can really tell me what's going on? If they can call your former supervisor and they can give a glowing like reference, say, oh, such and such did an amazing job. They were on time. They went above and beyond. Boy, that says a lot, doesn't it? So that's your first person. All your previous supervisors. Okay. The next one you're going to do is any former coworkers that you worked with that you had a good relationship with. Now, I would like to say, well, that kind of goes without saying, but you don't want to ask anybody you don't have a good relationship with. And I know that's stupid to say, but I want to be clear about it. So you want to give someone that's going to have a glowing reference. I'll give you an example I had. Way back in like 2000, I want to say 2008 or 9 or something, I was doing a temp position in Santa Cruz, California. And there was only like 3 or 4 people I worked with on a day-to-day basis. It was in a clinic. It was a great place. And I had a couple people that not only did I like working with, but I got along really well with, and we really got a lot of stuff done. And I used them as references, and it worked out later. So even though they were former coworkers, they were able to speak to what a good job I did, how well I worked, and to tell my new manager what was going on. And another one that'll work for students. So say you're a student coming out of school and you're looking to land that first job, a former instructor can be a great reference. So any of those 3 is going to be good, but it's time to ask. So you're going to say, Chris, how can I ask? You gotta pony up, and you gotta actually do this weird thing. Pick up your phone and call them. I know that's wild. I know that feels uncomfortable, but you got to do this. You actually got to call them. You got to speak with them. If you have an opportunity to bump into them, you can. Don't do anything weird. Don't send them like a direct message on Twitter. I would say not even text them, or if you text them, say, hey, I got something I want to ask you. Can I call you? Not even email. Just do it in person. It's going to give you that little bit of like a hands-on touch, and it makes it a little bit better. Plus, it's harder for people to say no to your face, okay? So, first thing you're going to do, though, you call them. You say, hey, we've been a reference for whatever you're in. And if they say yes, first thing you're going to do is make sure you have their correct contact information. Make sure you have their correct phone number. Make sure you have their correct email. Because the place you're going to apply, you're going to want to put those on there. And that way you have them. Verify their title. Verify their current work address. You're probably not going to give all this information out, but it's going to be useful later. Plus, this is one thing, when we get into more networking, as long as you have this information all the time, later on, years down the line, if you need to make some contacts or something, you have useful information to be able to contact people. So what happens? You put yourself on a limb, you call a former supervisor, and they go, "No, I'm not going to be a reference." Don't worry. Okay? Sometimes people just don't want to be references. They don't feel comfortable for whatever reason. Guess what? It's okay. Get over it, move on. It sucks, but you can always find someone else. So, what if you don't have any work experiences, okay? If you've been a student, if you have done extracurriculars, you had to have done something at some point. And in that situation, use any of those people. Anybody who saw you, if you were a student, any of your teachers, anybody you worked with there. I'm going to say, like, if you did any on-the-job training, anybody who worked there for you. And then, even if it's not applicable to your current job, former coworkers, okay? And if you don't have any of this stuff, and I'm going to talk about it later, you're like, I don't have any experience. I don't have anybody. Go out and volunteer. Volunteer costs, like, use some time, and you can start building up a little bit of a work history too. So you can volunteer. That's kind of last resort because you don't get paid, but it's a great way to do some job shadowing. It's a great way to get a little bit of experience. So who are we not going to ask? Family members, friends, unless you're really, really, really in a pinch. I suggest all these other people first. Roommate, spouse, children, anyone who you bump into in the street that says they'd like to. Well, that was a little bit of a joke. You're going to want to try to keep it as professional as possible. And then as you go forward, what I want you to do is keep these in, I don't know, get a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet. Just put all this information in there, and as time goes by, you'll be able to build that spreadsheet up. You'll be able to build that collection up. And then when the time comes, maybe 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, you want to apply somewhere. Guess what? You've already got your list. All you got to do is follow up real quick and say, hey, I'm applying to a new job. I just want to make sure we're good, that I can use as a reference. And that's it. So that's what I would do if I were you. So I would go through like 3 past supervisors that you can talk to. When's the last time you talked to them? Kind of make a list. Who are 3 character references you can use? And then when's the last time you communicated with these character references? Okay. That's about it. So I hope that helps. Again, all this stuff's in my book. If you want my book, it's available on Kindle for purchase. If you don't want to buy it, you just want it for free, just get on here and email me or fill out my Google form, hit me up on Twitter, and I'll just send it to you. That's it. Then you can enjoy it. Hopefully it helps you in your job search. Hopefully it can give you a little bit of an edge versus everybody else. So I hope that helps. Take care, and thanks for watching the video.